Now it's time to expand on phraseology as well. We will follow in the same footsteps while also adding some new content. Welcome to Advanced Phraseology. First, let's get some things out of the way. What is not advanced? Knowing when to say the word cleared, not advanced. Knowing when to say holding point, not advanced. When to use approved, not advanced. Numbers, phonetic alphabets, basic instructions, runway designator precision in sentence, not advanced. So, where is our benchmark? Basic phraseology should allow you in an airport with one departure and one arrival to manage 100% on your own. You already have the tools to do that. Advanced phraseology will provide you with the tools to talk in an airport with 10 outbounds and 10 inbounds by introducing how to effectively talk to airplanes, manage the phraseology of complex instructions and clearances, and in general use of phraseology to optimize your flow. It will once again be in two parts. We will go through the ATS instructions' finer points and talk about how to utter certain phrases that may be more uncommon to you. And then we are going to look at phrases through the Appendix A for the specific phases. Let's open the book again and look at ATS Instruction 14. And go to the pages at 2.10 concerning numbers. All of it you look through probably, but it's important to confirm that when you are clearing people, for example to an altitude, you must say, for example, 3,400 feet. This is below transition altitude, which is 5,000 in Copenhagen area and 3,000 in the rest of Denmark. Above this, you must say flight level 200, for example. You should not clear to an altitude above transition altitude as a tower controller. Different rules may apply for approach, but not for you. Moving to 2.11, it contains all the standard expression that you need to be familiar with. Starting from the top, it's about now to get rid of the unprofessional talk and talk properly. Acknowledge. Don't say, "Did you hear what I said?" No, it's acknowledge last transmission. Next two are easy. Break and break are words that are way too commonly used by VATSIM controllers and many have no clue what they actually mean. Break is for separating one transmission into two parts. There's really no reason to use these words on VATSIM, so don't really use it. Break is when you need to separate two transmissions to two different airplanes. Sometimes this is needed to ensure that some third station is not interrupting when it's very important. However, mark my words, you use it when it's truly important. So, let's play a little game now. See when it is important to use break. FedEx 14 Zulu readback is correct. Break. Fairline 458, runway 09 are clear to land. That's important. He needs a landing clearance. Alright, how about FedEx 1213, readback correct. Break. Giant 61 Echo, hold position. I say again, hold position. Also, important to avoid safety-related issues for potential runway incursions. How about this? Midland 6 Victor Echo, readback correct. Break. Scandinavian 320, confirm you have filed a flight plan. You see how ridiculous that sounds. Yet, this can't be seen on the network from people who do not really understand how to use this. So, don't be that guy. Take a break from break and only use it when it is of the utmost priority. Okay, now let's continue. If you need to give another clearance, you need to say re-cleared. This would be, for example, if you want to cancel an SID and take an airplane on runway heading instead. For example, then you must use re-cleared. Cleared, report, confirm, roger, contact, correct, say again. All these you know. Correction. No, you shall not say Scandinavian 123, contact 119. No, I'm sorry, I mean 118.105. No, it's contact 119, correction 118.105. Again, be professional. For the rest of them, it's pretty non-essential, but it's good to learn the rest of them nonetheless. If we move on further on chapter 2, it's 2.12 is an emergency, not so VATSIM related. Point 2.14 we went a little through, but on the advanced side, basically be aware of point A to D here. To increase attention to the other flight of the nature of certain flights, helicopter, gliders, ultralights, and gliders. On VATSIM, that's mainly helicopters and ultralights. You should use the type as a prefix before the call sign. So a helicopter, called Oscar Yankee Tango Papa Echo, will become Helicopter Oscar Yankee Tango Papa Echo, or shortened Helicopter Oscar Papa Echo. Note further down at point 2.16.7 that if you need a broadcast, you say all stations, and the fact that no readback is expected on such message. Right below at 2.16.8 is if you need to confirm who's calling. No, you do not say who is this. No, you say station calling, say again your call sign. Point 2.18 talks about correction and repeating, which you can look through yourself. You probably know this already. 2.19 is about using the words cancel and disregard. Cancel can be used to cancel pushback, cancel takeoff clearance, and so on. Most commonly is the pushback because pilots have issues with the pushback client, so therefore they need to cancel the pushback. Disregard is the correct phrase if something needs to be disregarded. For the rest, it's mainly emergency communications and CBDLC communications, neither which is part of the VATSIM syllabus for S2 students. Now let's dig down into Appendix A and look at a few interesting, more complex instructions that you need to adhere to. Let's start from the top. 1.2.1 is important to talk about due to this non-SID ATC clearance. It's important to understand about this that the structure is the same. The standard phrase is clear to, indicate, after via 1.2.2 the clearance limit, destination, and then move on down here to the number 2 and specify via what. Or use 3 here and specify via flight plan route. Note that 1 is saying direct, and that means tracking direct to the destination via GPS. This is an option that we do normally not use in Denmark. You announce the cleared level, the squawks, and then, as per 131, you announce a departure instruction. Please make sure you practice this properly. 114 states contact, which is an easy one, but also standby on and monitor, which can be used to transfer an airplane to a station without calling up the station. This shall, however, only be used on specific instructions from the next controller and for good reasons. Frequency change approved for flights going to Unicom is the correct way to say it. And if you want an aircraft to not change frequency, don't you dare say stay with me. Say remain this frequency. It's just nicer. Down to 117 is traffic information, which is covered in the VFR course. 118 is meteorological conditions and is covered in the meteorology course. Next X2 S2 relevant item is 1.1.11 for airports information for airports with no ATIS. Well, that's a Tier 2 endorsement in itself to provide AFIS and hence not applicable at the moment. It will be later on. Then we go all the way down to 1.3 before it again becomes S2 relevant. There is the part on departure instructions, and there are several options you can practice yourself. Rest is mainly approach stuff. So I'd like to turn to 1.4, which is stuff around the airport. But a lot of these are pretty basic stuff, which we already covered in the basic Phraseology course. However, see 1.4.7, that's the taxi procedures, because there are a couple of new phrases. First of all, see here, you can say holding point and hold short runway in the same sentence, even though I said that you should not. This is to remind you that the law document is stating what you can, but we are also teaching you what you should to manage VATSIM traffic. Know that it's not wrong to have both included in one sentence, but it is known to create confusion on VATSIM, and that's why we're teaching you as students not to do it. Taxi via runway, that's a good one. It's the one to use when you want somebody to taxi via a runway, like for example in Aalborg. Taxi to holding point runway 26 right via taxiway Charlie and runway 08 right. That's the phrase to use. Further down you can see it says backtrack, and that has a few key differences from taxi via runway. First of all, it's opposite. You taxi via runway 08 right, but you backtrack runway 26 left. Secondly, it should be used on an active runway and only when it implies a 180-degree turn at the end of the runway. Otherwise, the main phrase to use is taxi via. There's pretty much one airport that springs to mind that employs this backtrack procedure, and it is Rønne, where the only way to get to runway 29 is via backtrack. Okay, onwards. 1.4.10 is a very useful chapter of all sorts of ways you can manage your traffic. Are you ready for an immediate departure? Line up, be ready for an immediate departure. See as well as conditional clearance, highlighting here how to say it. Notice also that in chapter 2.264, there's a text teaching about the phraseology of a conditional clearance, so look it through. Advise able to depart from runway so-and-so intersection with the designator and intersection name. Useful in Copenhagen, for example, Bravo 3, runway 04 right. In 1.4.11 is a few items on canceling the takeoff clearance. Note that it is cancel takeoff clearance before he moves, and it is stop immediately if he already started moving. Of course, this should only be done in the utmost emergency. 1.4.12 has something that many are struggling with. After departure, continue runway heading. This means continuing on a specific heading. This is not the same as track extended centerline or climb straight ahead, which expects the pilot to correct for wind himself. On runway heading, there's no wind correction, so it's two different instructions. Lastly, 1.4.16, clear to land, but notice there are a few more options. Clear touch and go, meaning the airplane will land on the runway and then depart again. Cleared low approach, meaning the airplane will do the approach and then shoot a missed approach. And cleared low pass, meaning the airplane will pass the threshold, but not land. While this and this is mainly used for VFR flights, be very, very vigilant, because there is absolutely no reason an IFR flight cannot also do this. And you may see IFRs do this. If they do, they need a departure instruction, so they know what to do after they depart again. This will mean in Billund, it will be Scandinavian 145, runway 09, clear touch and go after departure, maintain runway heading and climb 5,000 feet. To be coordinated with approach, of course. Let's leave it at that. For the rest of it, you need to come back to the document again and again and educate yourself. Hopefully you are pretty well through it at this point. Remember, be crisp, be precise, be correct on your phraseology online. Good luck with your further studying, and thanks for watching.